passionate about, and something that I think is such an important message to hear. And we're going to dive right in because these people are very busy, and they're all leaving jobs, money on the table to be here and speak and be with you today. Just about everybody here, and I'm going to introduce people in a minute, are Wakefield High School graduates. Just about, right? So every person here owns their own home in this local community. And you might not be able to appreciate that right now, but please know how expensive you might know it is, and how financially secure you need to be to do that. If you take anything out of today, know there's more than one path to success. For a long time as a school counselor, we talked about just going to college, going to college, going to college. These presenters today went to their own college, took a much braver path to this following, and have worked extremely hard, have degrees from their own personal experience in life, in business, in sales, and whatever that you can never get on a college campus without coming out of school in debt, and now are very, very successful business owners and leaders, and are here to kind of share their stories and hope give you some more options as you consider your future. I'm going to briefly introduce everybody. This is going to play out. We're going to introduce everybody. One of our presenters is going to talk just for 2 minutes. This is a warm-up, and then we are going to break up into 2 groups. So I'm going to divide you. We're going to have one group's going to go over here. One group's going to stay right here. We're going to do a smaller kind of Q&A for about 20 minutes, then flip, and so you get to hear from everybody. I'm going to email out everyone. Everybody here's professional contact information, so you can follow up, and I strongly encourage you to follow up if something really grabs you here today. All right, without further ado, we're going to jump right in. One of our first presenter just go here is Meghan Hudson. Meghan is a police officer at the North Reading Police Department, graduated locally in 2016. It's been there for two years. Thank you for being here, Meghan. Catanzariti? I hope I apologize for your name. Kat was a graduate of Wakefield High School in 2007. She's a hairstylist and business owner. She's been in the field for 16 years. Amy Wall, still current or former member of the school committee? Do you still?
No, former.
Former member of our school committee. Also a proud Wakefield Warrior graduate in '98. EMT in the process of becoming a paramedic, and has been in the field for 2 years. Emma Anderson, graduate in 2019. At 23 years young, Emma is the co-owner of the Beverly Flight Center with her mother Tina, who's also here today. And she's been in the business for 3 years. So just let that sink and marinate in for a second. She's the owner of Aviation, she's 23 years old. Jeff Dodge. Jeff was a graduate in 2001. He has been, the past 20 years, the owner of Jeff's Landscaping Green. He's also a mediocre baseball coach, but a great guy. We have Justin Davis, graduate 2007. He is the assistant superintendent for Wise Construction. Sounds like some of the news from last year, or recent. He's done that for 2 years, and has been here for several times, and deeply appreciative. Carmen Nigro, who really kind of helped get this off the ground, a debt of gratitude. Graduate 2007. He's a foreman at Parrinello Plastering. Been in the profession for 17 years. Michael Martello, owner of Martello Home Services. Michael, when did you graduate? 2015. And a new dad, and doing fantastic in his work. Tim Muise, owner of TJM Plumbing and Heating, 17 years in the profession. He also has along with Emma, he has some free giveaways, so he's someone to talk to for many reasons. Abby Murdocca, graduated in 2020. Super excited to have you here. Right now you're an apprentice electrician, and she's been doing that for the last 3 years. Sometimes I think this is a stereotype that people don't become electricians or carpenters or plumbers. That's only a job for young men. That's far from the case. There are many, many successful women in the field, and I'm glad we have one here to talk about our experiences. John Boyson, graduate 2010. He works with site work and underground utilities. He's been doing that for 10 years and doing extremely well with it. Nick DeLelio, he's a first-class lineman at Wakefield Gas and Light. Nick has been with the job for 10 years. And that is our presenting crew. So, without further ado, I'm going to pass it off for Jeff just to give a brief kind of little stuff about his career and kind of sets the stage. It kind of really signifies many of these people's stories, and then we're going to break into two groups. So, Jeff, thanks for starting.
Thank you guys for all being here. Thank you to Brian for putting this together. It's very important to all the people sitting here to tell their story to all of you guys. My story began, in 2001 when I graduated Wakefield High and started my own landscaping company. I wasn't the best student in school. I got a lot of B's, C's, and D's. But there was something about people and business that I was really excited about. I went to UNH for an associate's degree in horticulture. I left there barely. Was almost asked to leave because my grades weren't good enough. But through perseverance and working hard, now I employ 20 people in the town of Wakefield for Velvet Green and Jeff's Landscaping. So I think a lot of people here have different skill sets that might, be worth talking to. So please, ask questions and reach out to each individual person if you find that, it's something you're interested in. This is about just having a conversation. This isn't about making, your decision for, for the future today. So it's just putting your toe in the water and seeing if you can have a good, conversation with these people. They're all talented people. They're all dedicated people. So please leverage their, their advice and, any questions, reach out. So thank you. Let's just go down the line. Boyson, why don't you tell us about yourself and how you got to where you are now?
All right, so as Jeff said, I wasn't the best student in high school. Always liked to work. Didn't want to go to college. So out of high school, started landscaping and then got into heavy equipment, underground utility work. And from there, started my own company, and basically we have this 6 of us total. We do anything from underground utility work, gas, water, sewer, drainage, electric, site work, anything with heavy equipment basically. And these guys will also tell you there's a lot of good jobs outside of going to college, so you can start making money right outside of high school. As Brian said, it's very expensive to get a house around here nowadays, and student loans, stuff like that, get very costly. And I think by listening to myself and these other guys, they'll tell you that there are a lot of opportunities outside of going to college. You can make really good money at a young age.
I'm Justin Davis, Assistant Superintendent for Wise Construction. I started in construction with a custom home builder a couple years out of high school. I did the North Shore Community College for a short time and hated it. So I went into carpentry, started as a laborer, worked up to a carpenter, and then I was running jobs for them. I left, I started my own business. Had my own business for 3-4 years. Hated that as well. I joined the union, and then from the union, I got kind of hooked up with Wise Construction, and now I run projects for them. I'm in Mostly healthcare, hospital work. I'm at Children's Hospital now. There's a ton of work out there. There's a lot of jobs, you know, men and women, both sides. So, yeah, that's kind of my story.
How you doing? Tim Muise. I own TJM Plumbing and Heating out of Wakefield. I've had the company since 2018. I'm a graduate, 2007 of Wakefield High, barely. School wasn't my thing, and I worked throughout high school, after high school. Became a plumbing apprentice, worked for a company for 5 years, went to work for another company after I got my license that specialized in something different. Then I went and worked as an in-house plumber at another company, Phillips Academy in Andover. Then I went and started my own company. So I've seen a lot of aspects of plumbing. Outside of plumbing, or within plumbing, there are so many options. Once you get that license, you can be an estimator, you can be a sales guy, you can work at a supply house, you can work for a company repping their product, you can work in an office. You don't have to be dealing with crap. You don't have to be dealing with certain things. You can do commercial, residential. There are so many facets to my trade. There are so many facets to everybody else's trade here. So if there's anything that interests you, I'd advise to read up on anything, ask any questions. Outside of plumbing, outside of what field, you know, there are so many options besides college. Whether it be a realtor, hairdresser, barber, correctional officer, DPW employee, firefighter, you name it. There's probably a program to get you started and get you rolling. Just in Massachusetts, to give you the idea, $28,271 is the average cost to go to college. A lot of college jobs are going to be replaced by artificial intelligence. They won't be taking jobs that you use your hands, do all that. Keep that in mind. By 2027, there will be 550,000 shortage of plumbers in the US. That essentially means you can name your price. You can make good money, enjoy what you do, depending on what avenue you go down within that field. Hopefully I can talk a little bit more, but there's a lot that you kids have available to you, a lot of resources, things like that that you should use, you should ask questions. Be comfortable being uncomfortable. That's how you're gonna get ahead. Pay attention and use everybody's knowledge to benefit yourself. Thank you.
What's going on, guys? My name is Carmen Nigro. I graduated in 2007. Just like all these guys, same thing, you know, school wasn't for me. I knew that from the get-go. My father owned a plastering company, which I still work for now, and I probably started junior high. Summers I'd just give him help, you know, whether he had passed some blue board around or whatever, do whatever he had to do for labor's work. And then come high school, same thing. Summer months I'd work for him, and then, you know, time was coming around now, maybe even sooner, and I was like, yeah, I don't even want to do community college. I think I just want to go straight into the field. So I started working for him and started working full-time. Started from the bottom of the totem pole and just had to work your way up. You know, at first it wasn't good money. You know, when you're just a laborer, you have to work your way up. And but these days things are good. You know, there's plenty of money out there. You gotta want it. It's like anything in life, you gotta want it. So 17 years later, I'm a foreman of the company, basically his right-hand man, run my own crew, can do things, you know, that I didn't think I would be able to do in high school, but, you know, here we are now. So if any questions, let us know when it's Q&A, and we'll go from there.
Before we move on, does anybody have any questions for this side of the panel? Any questions at all? Nothing?
I have one.
Go for it.
Timmy, sorry. Congratulations, my brother. So you said that they need to get comfortable being uncomfortable.
Yes.
There's a lot of students that I know in this room right now that are not comfortable being uncomfortable. Are there things that you did, or any of you did, because there's also a few of you on this panel that were not comfortable being uncomfortable, to help get to a place where you could manage that?
For myself, I've always been sort of nervous to ask questions, nervous to, jump in on something that I'm unaware of. For me, it's just, when I started my company, I joined a networking group and I was forced to speak every single week, so that helped me out a lot. But it's really, if you're asking questions and they're good questions, not just trying to fill time and space, people are going to appreciate it. I enjoy, helping other people figure things out. Nobody was really there for me to ask certain things in life. I had to figure it out on my own. If I could have somebody to guide me, I feel I'd be a lot further along, and hopefully we can do that for you, but you just have to get out, and be uncomfortable asking somebody for help, asking somebody how they did this, asking people, questions. You just gotta bite down and do it, tough it up. And that's the thing, in life, you need thick skin, period. Especially if you do join the trades. There's gonna be a lot of people poking fun and things of that nature, and you just have to take it in stride and let it roll off your back. Everybody's just trying to have a good time and get through the day, and just, take your licks.
Anybody else have an answer to that question other than Tim, or anybody else?
I do, Chuck.
Go for it.
You gotta make mistakes to get further in what you wanna do. Don't be scared to do what you wanna do, and you're gonna make mistakes along the way. Just don't be scared to make the mistakes, and it'll better you as you go. That's all.
Yeah, I totally agree with what these guys said. One thing that helped me was surround yourself with good people that will mentor you and find role models that are excited about the same subjects that you are, because those role models will give you the confidence to leap to the next step in your life. So I think there's something to be said there. I had a lot of good role models in my life and mentors that kind of pushed me in a direction that helped me get that confidence to make the next step and the next leap. So I hope I answered your question.
I think that was all great advice.
Yeah.
Do you have a question up there? What's up?
I couldn't hear it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kind of fields
So it's basically broken down into three. It's residential, commercial, and industrial. Residential, obviously, like your house, apartments. Commercials, more like healthcare. And then industrials, like big, like warehouse type of work. The skyscrapers that are going up in Boston, that's all carpentry. So there's a lot to it. I started in residential. I did 14 years in residential, and then moved over to commercial. Yeah.
Within that, though, I'm sorry, there are so many things within that as well. So it could be commercial, residential, industrial, but there are different facets within that. You could be, like Justin, a superintendent, and you sort of oversee the project. You could be a laborer. You could be somebody. There's so many different aspects. So if that helps answer. But you have to do the work to get to a position like he's in.
Yeah, let's move on down here. If you can introduce yourself.
So I'm Murdocca. I graduated this lovely school in 2020. I am a third-year electrical apprentice of the local 103 in Boston. So I got into it through my family. My father is an electrician, my brother is an electrician, but I didn't start off that way. I actually, after I graduated, I started working at Ford Motors, and I was an apprentice mechanic. So, you know, it took me like about a year and a half to get to kind of somewhere where I thought I could be. So definitely, you know, right out of high school, I didn't know what I was doing. I didn't know what I wanted to do. All I knew is I didn't want to go to college. I didn't want to do school. But it's funny because with the electrical program, along with like the plumbers union and that sort of thing, you have to do 5 years of school. And so it goes pretty fast. I'm in my 3rd year now, about to be a 4th year. So it's all right, and especially for girls to get in, they want you in any trade. It's a very high demand, and you know, you start off, you know, at bottom rate, but then every few thousand hours you get a step raise, so more money and more money and more money. So I mean, it's very physically demanding, but I needed that. I'm somebody who can't sit at a desk or anything like that, so I had to move. And it's, you know, it's, what is that? Like I needed like a strict regimen. I needed to be very scheduled, and you know, it's definitely an early day, it's an early start, but it's really worth it. You see some beautiful sunrises, and you see like the transition from a project start to finish really amazes me every time. And definitely, you know, electrical is, you have to use your brain, and it makes me feel pretty smart, honestly, so it's pretty cool. I don't hate it, I don't love it, but it's okay. And I'm almost done with that 5-year mark, and you know, like what they were saying over there is, you know, after you get your license, you can be, you know, you can start your own business, or you can stay in the local, and there's plenty of benefits. There's healthcare. I know none of you care about that now, but you're gonna care, and it's crazy how it changes after you graduate. So the trades, you know, you won't be in debt, but you know, your body's gonna be hurting, and you just need to take care of yourself and stretch and go get massages and that sort of thing. But it's definitely, definitely for myself, it's been worth it. So, yeah.
I'm Nick DeLolio. I work at the Wakefield Gas and Light Department. I graduated in 2014. I always knew early on college was never going to be for me. It just didn't interest me. I knew it wasn't what I was going to do. So early on, I looked into what kind of jobs I'd be interested in. My father actually pointed out being a lineman. So I looked into it. They made good money. It was all things that kind of just interest me. So right after we graduated, I actually applied over there and got a summer help job just to try to get some experience while I was trying to get into an Eversource program with Bunker Hill. That was already filled up. I continued working there, and as time went on, I kind of just somehow got the opportunity once someone else left to be able to join up there. I had to go away to Georgia for 4 months for lineman school, but I love the job. It's something new every day. I work with some of the guys here, learn all different trades and see how everything else works, and makes good money. I'm not complaining about it. So it's always a good option, and I don't regret not going to college.
My name is Mike Martello. I graduated in 2015 from Wakefield High, and same as everyone else here, I had no interest in going to college. I had trouble finishing high school. I almost didn't finish, and I had a lot of things pushed on me that I didn't know what to do after high school, and I really was interested in fixing things like mechanics, cars, and smaller things, and I tried that for a while. I actually went to a year of advanced automotive school at Minuteman Tech in Lexington, and I turned wrenches in Wakefield for about 5 years at a local shop in Wakefield, and I realized it wasn't for me. And I had a relative in the family who worked for a tree company. I tried that for a while, and I just realized I didn't want to work for someone else, and I realized I wanted to work outside. So now I own a property management company and I do a little bit of everything outside. And it's nice because I don't get sick of doing the same thing every day. I get to do a little bit of everything. I make my own hours. I have a flexible schedule. And it's fun. I get to meet different people. There's just a lot of different aspects that are really nice about it. There's hard things, but most of it's good. So I recommend just following what you really want to do and just take care of what you have to do for yourself to make you happy and what you want to do at work, because being happy at work is very important. And I didn't know what I wanted to do, and I finally figured it out working for myself for the past 5 years, and I wouldn't change a thing. Going to college wasn't for me, and I'm happy I did it. I'm happy I worked for myself.
I think we're going to switch in a few minutes, but before we do that, any follow-up questions for the group? Go for it.
Georgia. So, yep.
And then just some life advice while we're sitting here. So nobody really teaches you about banks and credit cards and this and that. Save your money, take out a credit card, use it to buy something and you're 18, but you're gonna pay off that much. Build your credit. Then look at real estate. Try to purchase a home as young as you can if you have enough saved. There are so many programs out there that you don't need a lot of money to put down. Real estate is the reason 90% of people are millionaires. So invest your money, don't blow it. While everybody else is having fun, work hard, save, try to put your money to work for you so that in the future, while everybody's working hard, you can go have fun, you can relax, and let them grind the rest of it.
All right, you
Thank you, guys.
head over to panel number 2.
With these professionals, I am so excited this year that we have representation of successful women in careers that you maybe wouldn't be the first thing you think about when going to college. Something I said earlier, and I think a biggest takeaway for me as a guidance counselor in the last 23 years is that there is no one definition of college. Anything to continue your learning, you do, is right for you. No one is asking anyone, where you went. And we have people here who all own homes locally, are, making significant income, doing things they enjoy, and have had experiences and degrees that might far supersede some of the best, college I went to and many other colleges, traditional colleges that you might think of. So give them, please, your full attention, ask some questions, and if you have an idea of something that you might want to enter that's maybe not represented today, reach out, because they have a lot of referral networks too, as well. You'll be getting everybody's contact info at the end of the over the weekend. Without further ado, I'm going to pass you to someone, my favorite students I've worked with in 23 years. She's only 23 years old, and she owns the Beverly Aviation School at the Beverly Airport. So turn it over to our class of 2019 graduate, Emma Ames.
Hi guys. Like Mr. Roberts said, I graduated in 2019. I co-own the Beverly Flight Center in Beverly, Massachusetts with my mom. We just passed our 3-year anniversary of owning it. I started flight training when I was 15. I got my pilot's license when I was 19. So people come to us when they want to become a pilot, so whether they want to do it professionally or just for fun. You're going to start on the smaller planes, so single engine, 4 seats. We have 14 aircraft on our fleet, 22 flight instructors. I decided halfway through my senior year that I was going to go through North Shore Community College because they had an aviation program with Beverly Flight Center. So aviation is a huge financial investment. It takes a lot of time and energy. So getting student loans was huge for me. So that's why I decided to stay home and go through North Shore. So we have a lot of employees and customers who want to jump in and the airline. So I found out I was passionate about the business side of aviation, so that's why I decided not to go on to the airlines, but to stay and run the flight school. So that's what I do with my mom.
I'm just going to jump in and say that this was not my path, but when Emma came to me and asked me if I wanted to buy the flight school, I jumped on it. It's a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity, and it's been a great experience. I love to see the students come in for their first flight, and then we've been in it for 3 years, so we just had a couple of people actually go on to become flight instructors from when we bought the school, so it's been very exciting to see people progress through aviation. But if anybody has any questions, how to start, where to begin, please feel free to reach out to us. And again, we do partner up with North Shore Community College. When we were looking at colleges with Emma back in 2018, our junior year, we were looking at colleges for $250,000, and I was like, ugh, it's a lot of money. But if she wanted to do that, we would have done it. But she decided to do North Shore Community College, and that's so much more reasonable. There's no student debt, because we were able to get through it for the same piece of paper, and the airlines don't look at college degrees. They don't ask where you went to for college. So
I would say even if people are interested in sometimes building their own business, we have some of the skill sets that Emma's learning day by day transcend just aviation. It's so a lot more than as you well imagine. So a great resource. She changed her mind. She decided to see years. Have it all figured out. Certain spots. So please, if you have questions on the way, ask. We're going to go through other presenters and have them have some more time. But any final words that you want to share? Or do you guys think?
Actually, can I just say, as a parent, when Emma was in her, I'm sorry, I'm going to say this, but when she was in her senior year, she was embarrassed that she wanted to go to North Shore Community College. I'm sorry.
No, I was.
And I said, why? I said, your friends are going to have these huge bills, and you're going to get the same education at the community college. And I'm glad she chose that.
Yeah,
and I think she was glad. And I'm not saying don't go to college or don't, but if you decide that you want to go to community college, they offer, it's a great opportunity, and it helps you save money too.
I'm so glad you brought that up. Some ways to try to go to community college for 2 years to kind of figure out what they want to do.
Right.
They take those credits, they transfer into another college, and they save a boatload of money.
Right.
I say that to some of my students, you don't want to be, 27, 30, living in your parents' basement, paying, $600 a month in college bills.
Right.
What you love to be is 23 and owning your own company. That's the,
And not having a college debt, so it's done, it's paid for.
So, thank you. Next, I want to turn over to, she's not she's a high school graduate. She's just next door, and she's a member of the, Meghan, sorry. Meghan, you graduated in 2016, and Meghan is a member of the North Reading Police Department the last 2 years. So please welcome Meghan, and Meghan, part of some of your experiences and how you got to work.
Yeah, so I graduated from Wakefield in 2016. I went to Merrimack College to get my bachelor's degree in criminal justice. From there I graduated, and I went through the master's program at Merrimack to get my master's degree as well. So it's a 7-month-long academy. That's the standard in Massachusetts. There's different requirements you have to meet throughout the academy. To include, like standardized test and firearms test, cruiser driving the cruiser around tests. And then I got hired by North Reading in 2022. So I've been there for 2 years now. Just over 2 years. But I do want to say too, though, that there's plenty of guys that I work with that didn't get a degree, and they're actually, if you want to, they're actively getting their degree. I know in my department, they'll pay for 1 degree. So there's definitely, you don't have to have a college degree to get hired as a police officer.
So how can you get hired as a police officer?
So pretty much, you have to take a test of some sort, whether it's run by the department. Massachusetts civil service exam, but it usually starts with a standardized test of some sort, and then you'll get picked up by a department, and you have to go through an interview process. It's pretty extensive to get hired because it's an interview. They have to do background checks and everything. So, but it's a great job, and I love doing it.
What are some of the benefits of the job, financially and just rewarded personally?
I would say financially, it's great because unlike a regular job, we have tons of overtime opportunity. If you feel like you want a bigger paycheck, you just have to work a little bit harder, work a little bit more. So that's definitely a huge benefit to it. You can work as much or as little as you want. And I would say, the rewarding aspect is definitely there. Especially, I was actually the only female in this department up until a couple weeks ago. We just got another one, but I would just hear throughout the town, other females would come up to me and just say it was nice to see a female officer working, and so things like that are just really great. I've had people come up to me from past calls and just say that I was great to them in a time of need. So it's definitely rewarding.
Anything you'd share last year with someone that's just thinking about it as a potential? Anything steps that you did that were smart, wish you would have done?
I would definitely say, the police academy itself in Massachusetts is pretty tough. I would just say, if this is the career that you want, it's definitely something you have to mentally prepare for 7 months. I would definitely say, it's a tough environment in general as well. And I think being a female, I go through things differently than, my male coworkers might. So, I would say, just definitely, mentally prepare yourself for it, and especially for the academy, I would definitely recommend, doing your best to prepare for the academy itself, working out and whatnot. So.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Turn over. I'll let you take it from here. You're very well spoken, and Pat is the owner of her own salon, right?
Yep.
So I'll let you take it from here.
Hi, I'm Catanzariti. I own my own hair salon in Stoneham. I graduated from high school in 2007 and went to cosmetology school right here in Wakefield at Hair's How, and graduated from there in 9 months. And 2 years later, started my career doing assistant work, reception work, and then went right into hairdressing. I would definitely suggest, if you wanted to get into hairdressing, finding a salon that offers you either a internship or a mentorship where you can learn underneath someone, so that way you're learning right out of the doors how to do a lot of things and working with clients and people specifically, because I feel like that's a misconception in a lot of our industries, is it's a lot of people and referrals. So how you show up for your job is kind of what will carry you through. I've been able to now run my own business for 7 years after working for somebody for 8 years, and I worked for an international company and had opportunities to do shareholding, and I would say an industry like hairdressing or cosmetology has a lot of avenues that you can take. I've done fashion shows, I've done stage work, I've done behind stage work, so it's kind of, it's really fun to see where it can take you wherever you want. Now I just came back from an 8-month sabbatical. I was able to be home with my 3 children. and preparing for that with, saving and really being smart with your money. You can have a leave like that and make as much money as you want before and after, which is really nice. So, yeah, I would say my industry is pretty awesome.
And I think one thing, which is the first thing to think about careers or what's in demand, what is not going to be taken over by AI.
100%.
Like everyone, everyone likes to live that.
Yeah.
Everyone, that's something that's always in demand. That's what goes style in the business, keeps going and growing in different avenues that you can take.
So many, yeah.
So I think these are thoughtful things to consider as you kind of think about how your interests align with, opportunity. And sometimes I had zero thought when I was your age that I was going to be a school counselor, but it was just a volunteer opportunity at the college I went to as I was studying accounting, and it took me to different directions. So always being open to different ways that you can kind of go. But tell us more just about the day-to-day of owning your own salon. Challenges of owning your own business.
Challenges of owning your own business, I'd say, is balancing work-life balance, because you can get, especially nowadays with cell phones and social media, you could be posting all day, you could be texting somebody all day, you could be booking appointments all day. So finding yourself being present with the actual operation tasks and not getting caught up in just the mundane, and being able to have an industry that you can go home and be present with your family as well. So I'd say the challenge is you always want to be busy, and time is money, and you don't want to turn work down, but get yourself busy enough when you're young enough that you can pick and choose the work as you get older. And I used to work 60, 80 hours a week, and now I can work 8 to 12 hours a week and make the same money, if not more. So just being smart, managing your time, saying yes to everything. Yeah.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Last but not least, we're going to turn it over to a Wakefield graduate, a Wakefield school committee member, and a lot for our town, and now a new career, relative career as an EMT, and studying to be a
paramedic.
Thank you. Amy.
Hi, I'm Amy. I work in EMS. It's emergency medical services, so I ride an ambulance. I had a career change a few years ago. I did the traditional route. I went to a community college, similar to Emma over here, and then transferred into a four-year university. Decided a few years ago that kind of wasn't really where I wanted to spend the rest of my life. So I decided to go to school to become an EMT. I did a 4-month program, got certified, got my national license, and have done that. And then last year I decided I wanted to advance my career further and become a paramedic. So I have just finished paramedic school in January. I just finished last week my clinical time, so I worked 250 hours in the emergency department at the hospital, hands-on with patients, with doctors, working in the operating room, working in the emergency department, and then now starting next week I'll continue with my training with my ride time. After that I will test nationally to become a licensed paramedic. So it's something that opens the door to a different, all different avenues in the medical field without going to, medical school, which could be 10 years. This is something, it's fast paced, every day is different. There's no 2 days, 2 calls, anything the same, which I love. I thrive kind of in chaos, and it's nice because every day you go in and you don't know what to expect. So I also have the opportunities to work. I'm on a FEMA team, which is if there's national disasters throughout the country, I can get deployed to go down and help work on ambulances through that. And if there's a hurricane, tornado, things like that, which is a really fun aspect of the job. Also work for Tango 2, which is our fire rehab unit. If there's big fires that are happening throughout the Commonwealth, we can get deployed to those as standby to help out with the fire department's needs, things like that. So there's different avenues that you can take. Later on, if you wanted to become a nurse or a doctor, there's different bridge programs that you can go to get that skill set. And just within my own training, there's different certifications that we get, whether it's pediatrics or cardiac, different things like that you can there's always a new skill to get. The industry is constantly changing as new technology, new medication, things like that are coming out. So it's great to kind of be on the cutting edge of that type of stuff.
I think a word here that is so important. Sometimes people get, degrees or I have this master's. What you need to provide are skills, certain skill sets that are employable, that fit a need somewhere. You could get a degree from philosophy at Harvard University. Nothing wrong with that, but you might not have a skill that's marketable, employable, and then also that have opportunities to then build on that and get new certifications and take your new directions. Like now that you're going in the engineering. So, super important to kind of just educate yourself on what are some of the emerging, what are things, people always get an aging population, it's like medical field, outreach of things in certain ways, is something that's, always going to be. We have a few minutes left. I have a million questions I could ask, but does anybody have questions for our presenters? Guys, come on, well, I know what to talk. Anybody have an interest of owning their own business at some point, or desire, curiosity? All right, talk about it. I know you actually do have your own business, correct? So talk about your business for 2 seconds, Anthony, and ask a question about, kind of growth. And I know it's both in landscaping, but they have expertise here.
What? I can't hear you that well.
Kind of grow, what a question about owning your own business and what you do and what are you thinking about? How do you want to continue? Tell us your business.
Yeah, so I just I just have a landscaping business, and I think what you said about I have a hard time finding the balance, because I do work a lot, and I think I need to find a better balance of the life too, spending more time with my family and friends, and not just focusing so much about work. And I think I do spend a lot of time contacting clients and posting on social media, just like you said. So I think that I need to work on that too. So it was good to hear that. Yeah.
If you all look at our screen time, it's kind of scary. If you're 7 hours and you're oh my gosh, I could have worked out, I could have hung out with my best friends, and then, I'd say you're always replaceable, right? It's we're all not going to be here forever, so it's but you're never going to be replaceable to your mom or to your best friends or to your kids. So it's I always find that, yeah, you can work all the time, and you should while you're young, work a lot and say yes to everything, but I'm sure for you it gets exhausting, and you do want to be present, you do want to be a high schooler. So, yeah, I would say just schedule yourself, just your teachers schedule you for periods, I'd say schedule yourself. So at 5 o'clock, that's your cutoff, no more answering work emails. You'll find it, but it is hard. But that means you're successful, because you want to work hard. So kudos to you.
Question. Emma, how do you balance work-life? It's not too
Well, we have flight lessons going on from 7 a.m. to as late as midnight, 1 a.m. some days. So it feels we're always on call. Something that we struggled with, which is a little unique, is we're co-owning a business together. So she's my mom, she's my business partner. We're seeing each other constantly. What we struggled with was we would have business meetings constantly. We'd come home from work and then we'd be constantly talking about business. So individuals can do this, but this is what we had to do. It's okay, we have to stop talking about business. You're not my business partner after 7 p.m. with my mom. So it's good to have those boundaries, because otherwise we'll go insane.
And sometimes when we're at work, she'll come in the office, she goes, I need mommy time. She'll shut the door, I have to vent, I have to do this. But we're fine, I think we found our way.
Yeah.
So it is just having boundaries and the balance, it is hard, so.
Meghan, that was really thoughtful of what you were talking about, is how difficult it can be, different challenges as a young woman, as a police officer versus a man. How did you, what are some ways that you've used to adapt to that, and what, I think, from my perspective, we need more women in law enforcement, because there's certain situations when you go out on a call and care that you can add a certain aspect that, a man like you couldn't, because you deal with a lot of mental illness, probably a lot of people need, but how do you kind of, work to, adjust like that?
I would just say, even just going through the academy, there's aspects of it I think that are very difficult for women to overcome, just with, because you have your PT physical tests and whatnot, so, I think it kind of starts there. So, like for me, it's always been the career that I've wanted to do, so I've just kind of had to learn to overcome it, but, yeah, I think like what you said, it's, I've been on calls where, you can just tell that whoever we're dealing with might just gravitate towards me because I am like a younger woman, but on the flip side, I also deal with times where it's they don't want to talk to me because they might see me as naive or just a younger woman, so they don't want to talk to me. So at that point, that's when you rely on your people that you're working with and your partners to kind of work with you on it. And luckily I work with a lot of great guys, so, we're kind of good with each other about when to, back off and partner when it needs to take.
Give me any final words of advice for groups of, been here, you lived this experience, you've been in our, for kids coming out right now, what do you put,
like I said to the last group too, is just advocate for yourself. Never be afraid to ask to do something or ask for something. The worst somebody's going to tell you is no. If you don't advocate for yourself, nobody else is going to do it for you. So just make sure that if you want something, go out and ask for it and grab it and just work hard to get it.
Thank you. You took something out of this, something that you mentioned. If you have a career that of interest, that maybe is not directly applied here, that maybe is like you want to be a firefighter, or you want to something else in medical. You have people here, resources that genuinely want to help and know people can refer people. You'll all be receiving their professional contact info. It could be the best email you ever sent. Just have come and ask some questions. We had a student, a student that's here that I'll remain nameless that could, is graduating, could have gone to any college he wanted to, and he's going to lineman school. And you know what? He's going to be more successful and smart too. People make informed decisions. Like you choose what's best for you, what works for you, and follow the path, ask a lot of questions, and take advantage of great resources. So thank you so much for coming in and sharing and volunteering your time today.